Okay, so once you've gone ahead and put all of your information into Podio, once you've talked to the sellers, we're going to do a couple things. The first thing we're going to do is go to Maryland SStat. So we want to do, if you just type Maryland SStat, we want to do the real property search. And we're going to scroll down, hit Baltimore County, street address, and then the number of the address of the person who we just spoke. Okay, we can find out a lot of information here. You know, we already know it's an absentee. We can see, okay, it's it's a large house, 3,200 square feet. It was built in 2003. 2 stories at the basement, 2.5 baths, garage. Okay, so it looks like in 2003 they bought it for $438,000. So this is going to be, you know, a larger purchase. So we can still work with this. We just need to get it for the right price. When you go ahead, the main piece here is that it's 3,200 square feet. So when we go now to Matrix and we go to search residential general, we want to do sold in the past 365 days. That's what that means. Then when we go to map, it's going to tell us, actually we're going to go back to criteria, and we're going to say 2,200 square feet plus. Then we're going to go to map. It's going to be way too many, but that's okay, we'll get there. And we're going to jump to the address, 2203 Sienna Way in Woodstock. Hit locate. Okay, we're going to scroll out some because we need more than just a couple comps to look at. You see this dotted line, that's going to indicate a different county. So we're going to try to stick in the same county. In this case, we're going to take a look at these houses here. Okay, once we put the figure around them, we can go to results and see what we've got. So these are all larger houses. This one's a little bit too big, but also sold for $750,000. So what I like to do is just put them in order from least to greatest. And if we look, okay, this 10111 Davis Avenue, we want to look back at our comp. Okay, we have 4 beds, 5 baths. So this one is significantly smaller, so that one wouldn't be great. But in terms of arguing why our price should be what it is, then that definitely is a contender. Okay, so back to looking at the comps. All of these, you know, size-wise, our house that we're concerned with right now is a little bit, you know, it's right around these areas. So we want to look at this one. This is on the same street. We want to see what kind of condition it was in. Okay, so it closed for $232 with 15,000 back. So this is about a 515 comp. Okay, so doesn't look like it really needed any work. You know, all updates have been done. It's sold in 71 days. Okay, so this would be, we'd also want to take a look at the photos quickly if we click on that, and then album. Oh, that is interesting. Opulent, it would be an interesting word. Okay, so we see wallpaper, we see sort of this outdated entertainment system. It's, you know, very clean, but, you know, no recessed lighting. You know, it looks like we have granite. It looks like there's either tile or, you know, I don't see any hardwood. So, you know, a very nice home, but wallpaper, again, needs updates. Oh, boy. So, you know, somebody could go and easily sink, you know, 50 grand in there. You know, it looks like really not much of a backyard off the side anyway. Oh, but it does have an enclosed pool, which is very interesting. So when looking at that comp, what we would do then is when we go back to the system summary, we'd say, okay, 2305 Sienna Way. We'd go back into Podio, and we'd scroll down, Right now we're in this phase of the do research, pull comps, and call back. So we're looking at one. So the one comp that we are looking at is 2305 Sienna Way. It's virtually the same house, except they have one less bathroom, and it's sold for about $516 in September of 2014. And we'll just get the basics here, and just so when we call back we can say, okay, it's on an acre, 3398, so it's a 4.5. So 4 bed, 4.5 bath, 1 acre, 3,398 square feet. Okay, looking at again, if you want to see how close they are to our subject property, we can go ahead and scroll in. We can see, Sienna Way, this Ramona Lane is an offshoot. Okay, and these houses look like they're a little bit less expensive, which is our goal. We want to try to find comps that, in this one, we can say needs updating, wallpaper, dated materials. So when we look at the next house, it closed above asking. It was on the market for 155 days. Okay, so they started at 550, reduced down to 399. Okay, so we want to take a quick peek at these photos. Go to album. So we have hardwoods. We have what looks like an updated kitchen. Again, no recessed lighting. I see some wallpaper. A lot of carpet. A lot of red, deep colors. So clean, sloping yard, large yard. Okay. So when we talking about this one, 2108 Ramona is 5 beds. So 2108 Ramona was a short sale. Okay. So 5 beds, 2.5 baths. So 415. And again, this sold in July of 2014. 5 beds. 2.5 baths on an acre. Square feet. So when you're pulling comps, and then I'm not going to type these in, but if we quickly look at the other ones, we're obviously shooting to get the houses at a lower price level. So here, there's a significant drop in this $229,000 property. And if if we take a look at the map, it's not in that same neighborhood, which could make a big difference. But when we look at this 750,000 comp, it sold for 680, but it's 5,800 square feet, or they're saying it's 5,800 square feet. So that just isn't going to be let's see. Yeah, so this one's way larger than ours, so that's just not going to be a realistic comp. This one, the style, it's old, it's just, that just wouldn't work for us. The lot's a lot bigger, but the house is a lot smaller. So we want to find houses that are, right in the same area, right in the same price range that would help support a certain price per square foot. Since this one is actually very far out of town, it's an excellent one to, it's an excellent one to comp, but the margins will be slimmer because, it's really going to take a certain buyer who would want to live out this way. But that's one way that we can run a comp in an area like this. The next video we'll take a look at is running comps for the city.